Thank you to everybody who is joining. So if you have mold in your place, this is the right place to be. If you have dampness in your place, this is the right place to be. We'll start soon. Let me confirm if everything is fine and good. So give me a few seconds. Right place to be. We'll start soon. Let me confirm if everything is fine. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to everybody who is joining on this live. We are going to be talking about mold. We are going to be talking about dampness. We are going to be talking about painting your house. Wow, this is cool. So let me see what YouTube has for us. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to everybody who is joining on this live. We are going to be talking about mold. We are going to be talking about dampness. We are going. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Give me a few seconds. Let me add. Okay. Thank you to Mr. Scott. Thank you very much. You can hear me. Let me see. Okay. Thank you to
I'm trying
Mr.
to make
Scott.
this very, very.
Give me a few seconds. Is this looking better? I think this is looking better. Looking better. Let's try. Let's try. Let's see. So hello, hello, hello. I think this is looking better, right? So if this is looking better than what? Hello, hello. I think this is looking better, right? So if this is looking better than what? So I believe this is looking better than what we normally have. So thank you to everybody who has been patient with us. Today we are going to be talking about mold. We are going to be talking about damp treatments. So if you have mold in your place, you have dampness on your wall, this is where to be. So thank you to Scott. Thank you very much. MS Nation, thank you for the tapping on the screen. So if you are here, you are new. Uh, Hello? Ah, any come abo, come abo, come abo. Wow, we are already at 800 likes. Thank you to MS Nation. I really appreciate you for the tapping on the screen. Thank you very much. So if you are somebody you have question you want to ask, you want to reach out to us, you want to buy any of these products we are talking about, send us a DM 0904-357-5896. We are going to be talking about dampness. If you've been seeing my video, I talk about dampness, I talk about painting, I talk about mold in your house. So, which is what this live will be all about. Let's make sure every boss is tick. I think this particular live setting is much more better than what we normally have. So, every day you learn new thing, you learn. So, I recently learned that when you want to go live or when you want to record your video, you should just put something at the top of the light so that it will not spill light in the background. And I think this is looking better. If it looks better and you've been here before, say better in the chat. If you've been here before and you think this particular setup is looking dope, say better in the chat. What's happening to Facebook? The camera is not too sharp here. Okay. No problem. We are still going to go live on Facebook. Okay. Facebook guys, here we come. Do you have an engineer in Abuja that can do an inspection and recommend how to fix them? For now, we don't have anybody in Abuja for dampness. What we do normally for most of our customers in Abuja is to send down the material, then we send them the video of how to apply it, and it's always been okay. We've never had any complaint from customers with that. So if you are somebody that has dampness, currently for us we have limited capability. Most of our staffs we work in Lagos, so we work in Lagos. So most times we work in Lagos. So we work in Lagos and neighboring states. So work in Lagos. Thank you to everybody who is joining on Facebook. Okay, thank you to everybody who is joining on Facebook. So we work in Lagos mostly, so that's where we have most of our staff. So, but Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, what we do there is to we build the product to them and then send instruction of how to use. We have video instructions step by step of how you see us mixing the products, like mixing it, using it, applying it on the wall. What we are using to apply it on the wall, step by step on how to guide you to use the product properly. So once you follow the steps, you don't have any problem, because there are some people that are in Jaws. For me, I don't like traveling to all those places. Even my staff, I don't like them traveling to far places. Why? Because we have enough markets in Lagos. That's the reality. We have enough markets in Lagos, Lagos, Oyo State, Oshun, Ekiti, Ogun State. So those markets are enough for us for work for now. But when it comes to working outside Lagos, it's not usually easy, because they have to transport. They have to, before they even come back. There are a lot of work that will be in Lagos that we will have been doing. In economics they call something opportunity cost. When you take an opportunity, there's a cost to it. So if you are taking one project in Abuja, and that means you are leaving another project undone in Lagos, so which would have even make you better profits. So it's about business as well. So but with time we get to grow our capacity to be able to serve more customers in those places. But for now, that's our reality. That's what we are facing. But because the reason we try to do this is not that we cannot recruit people all over the country. The reason is that when you recruit people, you have to be sure that the people you are recruiting for work, they are people that are trustworthy. Yes, in fact, today if I just post online that I need so people that can work for me, trust me, 1,000 people will submit their application. But it's not about that. It's about the quality of the people you want to work with, their integrity, the way they work. Like, the people I work with, for most of my customers, they are the people that will not get to the site and say, oh, they start abusing customer, they start showing attitude to customer, they start showing different things to customer. Even when customers are impatient with them, they know how to handle it. So me coming out to say, okay, we want to grow our team, so just to make money, so when we are not offering better service, is not really good. Yes, we are going to get there. We are going to scale in terms of our services. We are going to scale to that extent so that we can offer quality as we go. Not that we just say, okay, we want to make money, pa. At the end of the day, we won't get anything. So that's why that's the basic reason why we've not been able to scale to those places for now. How can I tell if the dampness is from foundation, and then what materials to purchase from you? So if you want to know if your dampness is from foundations, here are some things you should look at. The number one thing you should look at is the dampness, is the paint. The number one thing you should look at is, where is the paint peeling. If the paint peeling is on the inside, on the wall, on the lower side of the house, That's number one sign. In most cases, for rising damp, that is dampness from the foundation, it usually comes from it usually shows at the bottom of the house. The number two thing you should also check is it in all the rooms. So if it is in all the rooms, there's a higher probability that it's rising damp. Why? Because for other type of dampness, they only appear in certain places. They might only appear in your kitchen or your bathroom alone. But when you now see it in all your rooms, especially when your neighbors are also having the same issue, just know that it's likely rising damp. The number three thing that will make you know that the water is from your foundation is if your neighbors are facing the same, and if the dampness is also on the outside. What do I mean by dampness is on the outside? Your neighbors are also having paint spilling on their wall on the lower side, and then when you go outside the house, you also see that the paint is spilling on the outside. That is confirmation. That's the number three confirmation you need. If all these three are true, that is, you see it in all your rooms, is on the lower side of your house, and your neighbors are having the same, and it's also on the outside, that is rising damp in most cases. In like 99% of the time, that is rising damp. And what you need to solve that particular issue is to get Costa 2K and Crystal Coat or any waterproof material. Remove the plaster until you see the block. Apply all this Costa 2K and Crystal Coat, and if you can, also get a chemical or a physical DPC, because the water is coming from the foundation. So for if you are using a chemical DPC, you need something to also block the water that's coming from the foundation from rising up. So you can apply Damp Master to block that, which is a chemical DPC, or you get a physical DPC. Let an experienced engineer or a bricklayer cut the wall for you section by section, and then they insert a DPC line on, and then they replaster the place. So those are the things you need to do. But if you are somebody that just rent the place, you don't want to spend too much money, just get damp proof material like Costa 2K and Crystal Coat and just apply it on the wall. That will serve you about 2 to 3 years or even 5 years if you use the two together. So that is the exact process for you to do if you notice that it is rising damp. So I hope that answers the question, Mr. Scott. Yes, it's true. Thank you to Mr. Temitayo. I really appreciate you. CY Painting, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for joining. So if you need any products, you need any of our products for dampness, for okay, in Venice Sims, thank you very much, Rashidat or Debode. Thank you very much for watching on Facebook. Thank you to everybody who is watching on YouTube. So if you have any question, I'm seeing a lot of messages right here on WhatsApp. Do you have ready-made potty squid? Yes. Where's the location? So if you have any question, please leave it in the chat. If you have any question, you want to make inquiry on any of our products, make sure you leave it in the chat. So we have a lot of amazing products right here. There's satin, there's a top mode defense. This is the popular top mode defense that you can use to solve any mode issue in your place. So that's our top mode defense for you. So if you have any question, you can leave it in the chat. Faith Dixon, thank you very much. I think Faith Dixon was on our live the other day. So thank you to Faith Dixon for showing up again. I really appreciate you. Wow, T White Painting, thank you very much. Currently using Armstrong Paints matte. Yes, how was it? TY, how was it? Thank you very much. How was it? Thank you. Please help me with one water.
I'll leave you today. I have appointment by 6 o'clock.
All right, no problem. So so very good. Wow, thank you to T White. T White says keep promoting Armstrong. We like it in Oshun. Yes, not just in Oshun. Most people that see my video, Kwara, Ilorin, Ogbomoso, Ibadan, people usually appreciate what I do, and I also appreciate them for whatever it is, for everything they are doing, for their patronage and every other thing they've been doing. Somebody came today to our Lagos office and he was like, Mr. Tope, I was talking to a high-ranking official, a high-ranking government official about Armstrong Paint, and the person was like, are you, are you a shareholder of the company? One thing I noticed about Armstrong Paint is there's people's love there, because once you use Armstrong Paint, you never go back to using other paints. Like, even though you're going to use other paints, it's going to be occasionally. Why? Because it's value for money. Like when you use it, it's more than what you expected. It's always more in most cases. So that's why most people like to use Armstrong paints. That's why they keep coming back to buy our products. And because the way we treat our customer is also very, very good for all our outlets, all our outlets. So thank you very much, Mr. Temi. Mr. Temi. Mr. Temi, okay, I think we value it here in Ocean. Thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Tokpe. Okay, paint with Tobes. Thank you. Hello to you. Good afternoon. Good evening. Paint with Tobes. Very good. So Kosatuke and Crystal coats will stop the dam from showing for about yes. That's right, Mr. Scott. It will stop the dam from showing on your wall for 3 to 5 years. If you use the two, but if you use one, it will stop the dampness for like 2 years. 2 years. So you can use more, but me I like to give lower, like under promise and over deliver. So that's what I do. So that if it's at least use more than that, you'll be like, okay, it's more. It's okay. I'm using it in Lagos. Wow, T White painting. Thank you very much for that. He says he's using it in Lagos. Thank you to improve with Ahmad. Thank you very much for joining on YouTube. Thank you to the guys. Adi, thank you. Or Jelade Abiodun, thank you very much. O2 Francis on Facebook, thank you very much for joining. Justy Banky, thank you very much for joining. Guys, if you're here to follow us, make sure you follow us. We are getting to on Facebook now. We should be at 170,000 subscribers, followers. Thank you very much to everybody who has been following us on Facebook. I really appreciate you guys. We went from just 2,000 2,000 to 170,000 in about 2 to 3 months. It was crazy growth on Facebook. But my TikTok family, you guys have always been with me. I really love you guys. You guys have been here for a very long time now. On TikTok, I think we have 140 something thousand very strong followers. On Instagram, we are going to 100,000, which is fantastic and amazing. I couldn't believe we are here already. So millions and millions of people following us and watching our videos. Currently, we have about 20 something million views per month, which is very impressive. Very impressive. Do you have office here in Abuja? For now, Paints with Tobes, we don't have office in Abuja yet. We don't have office in Abuja. But what we do is we deliver to Abuja. We deliver Kosatuki and Kristako to Abuja 3 days ago or so. Then we also have another delivery on the way to Abuja. It's going to go this evening. So that's what we do. For Abuja, we deliver. Usually they go to Jabi, Utako. I think I had Utako and Jabi, they are the same. So Utako, Jabi. So because the one we are sending today is going to Utako, but the other one is going to Zuba. Is it Zuba or Kuba? I usually mix the two together. So those are the two places we send to in Abuja. But if you have other places you want us to send to in Abuja, we can also use GUO transport, which is God is Good transport, to waybill any product you want to use. So it's very straightforward and very easy to get. So like one thing I like to do when it comes to delivery is I use delivery services that will not stress my customers. In most cases, I even try to add money to the delivery just for the pack not to stress the customer. So because when customer is one thing for your product to be good, is another thing for them to deliver it well. Because I've had serious issues in the past whereby you deliver something and then the pack will just do it anyhow. So I never use those services again. So so because it's all about customer satisfaction. If your customer is satisfied, they'll come by to buy more, and that is very fantastic for you as a business owner. Okay, thank you very much to Mrs. Ado. Now, if you have any question about dampness, please leave it in the chat. Ekene Francis, thank you very much. Don Ekene, Ansu, Roli, Nukaza, thank you very much. I think this is not just a Nigerian stream, this is an African stream because I'm seeing a lot of names that are not Nigerian names. So if you are not from Nigeria, say hi in the chat and tell us the country you are watching from. So whether you're in Nigeria, you are in South Africa, you are in Algeria, you are in Egypt, dampness and mold treatments are almost the same. They are the same. There's like it's not as if the mold that's growing in Egypt is different. Mold and dampness that everywhere is the same. Whether you're in US, Lebanon, anywhere in Asia, China, dampness is always the same. So, and the way you treat them is the same depending on the available material you have in the market. So, but for Nigeria and anywhere that's also closer to Nigeria that you can get all these products. So, these are some materials you can use to treat dampness anywhere you are close to Nigeria. So, So, so paints with Tobe says, what do you think about the average painter in Nigeria? You see, there are a lot of things I will not be able to say on live stream. So why? Because the brand I work with, we work with painters a lot. We work with painters a lot. But one thing I will say about painters is, or one thing I will encourage about painter is, painters should not think one project is the end of their life. Like, they should not put all their uh Yoruba will say bukata, like all their efforts to, like all their what will I say, all their budgets, all their monthly budgets, and calculate it on one single project. That is killing the industry. There are a lot of painters. Yes, there are good painters out there. Trust me, there are a lot of good painters that will do your job without any mago mago. But there are some painters that will do your work without mentioning anybody. There are some painters that will do your work and then they will try to hide things, do some things that I will not mention here. They will try to do all those things just for them to be able to make ends meet, and they don't know that at the end of the day, the customer will later end up realizing that. And for us, for companies like us, even though for companies for people like us, we don't we see you do it, which is why in most cases we don't give you work later. So that means you are losing work. Like, take for example, there are some people that they are supposed to be working with me, but because I've seen them do something to other people, not to me, they've done it to other people, and I'll be like, oh, so this is what you do. I will not give you projects. And if I say, okay, I'm going to be giving you projects, you know how many projects are coming to my table every day. So that is what you are losing. And it's not just me, it's other people that are watching you. You might be like, oh, that people are not seeing me. No, it's other people that are also watching you, that are seeing what you do, and then they'll be like, I can't give this guy my work. You might be on the roadside and then you put paint inside another bucket, you do all those things, and you see somebody, the owner is not seeing you. But what about people that are passing? What about your people in your, even your neighbors that you are living together? They know that that's what you do. That is why most times when they have their own project, they will not call you, because they know that is what you do. So for you as a painter, try to get more skills. Like, try to go for training. Big Sam, they have school for training. Like, I usually direct people to Big Sam school. So try to go for training, improve yourself. Trust me, if you do all these things, try to post your work online, try to be free-minded, and know that you will always get your work. And try to, when you actually get the work, try to deliver quality work to the last T, like to the last penny for the customer. So if you do all these things, trust me, you will always get work, and work will not be your problem. You won't have to be putting all your monthly expenses calculation on just one project. So it's because most painters don't want to develop, is the skills they learn 2 3 even 10 years ago. That's what they are still using every day, and they see other people that are coming up with different designs that they don't even know how to do. And then even the normal painting they do, they are not improving. Like, most painters don't know what they call primer today. So primer, how do they use it, how does it look, what was it for? So these are basic things that most painters need to know. Like, painting is not something that, yes, there are a lot of designs in painting, but if you just pick 5 designs that these are the things I want to do, just try to master it very well. Even though it's ordinary maths, ordinary emotion, know that, just make sure that when you paint maths, people recognize that, oh, this is so work, this is Tokpe's work, this is Shade's work, this is Tolu's work. Let them know, let them see the quality of painting, and let them see that, okay, at the end of a year, 2 years, that you promise them that the paint is going to last, it is lasting. That's why it's also very important as a painter, when you are painting, you also consider the people you are partnering with. The paint company you are partnering with is very, very important, because if you partner with a bad company, just because of what you are getting from the company, and then it end up showing for you in terms of the quality of work you are delivering for your customer, is going to affect you. Which is why I say, learn, and try to get as much skill as possible, and try to not be too greedy. So those are the things I think painters should do in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, in Africa generally. So gloss paint and satin paint, generally gloss is more expensive than satin, so it's more expensive than satin. So but because in Nigeria gloss is used for iron, so which means you need less of it compared to satin that's usually used for for wall. Yes, it's not that you cannot use gloss for wall, but most people in Nigeria, I noticed that most people don't like something that's too shiny because gloss is more shinier than satin. They don't like something that's too shining. They just want something that's moderately shiny like satin. Even there are some companies that their satin is very very shiny. Some customers don't like it. Yes, if you are a customer that like that, you can go for that. So, but generally gloss is more expensive than satin. But because we only use little of it, so that's why most people just get little gloss. Like for example, you can buy paint worth 5 million, and then you just buy gloss, like say maybe 100,000. It will do what you want to do. Why? Because you only need it for your window, your iron doors, your iron gates, your iron railings, because those are the things you need gloss for. So that's that. So the next question, yes, responsibility is very key. Gloss paint, assassin paint. Okay, well said, sir. Okay, thank you very much to paint with Tobes. Thank you very much. Honestly, that is it. So though there are a lot of things I try to hide under the rug because Yoruba will say "Kise when you laughing sorrow." So that's so. But those are the things I see. That's just the summary of everything. That's the summary of everything. Guys, let's double tap on the screen. Let's get more people to join this live. Double tap on the screen. Let's get more people to join this live. Talking about dampness, okay, we are going to talk about dampness. So for paint, for dampness and mold, most people don't know the difference between dampness and mold, and I've explained this earlier. You see, dampness is what happen when you have water on your wall, and there are three types of dampness. Number one is there are three types of dampness based on what is causing it. That is, they are categorized based on what causes it. The number one is water coming from your foundation. So that is, your foundation is on the soil, and most time when rain fall on the soil, it soak the soil, and then you are putting your block on the soil, which means the block will also soak water. So that one is called rising dam, because the water is coming from your foundation to your block and to your wall. So that is rising damp. Another type of dampness based on the cause is condensation damp. Condensation damp is when you cook in your house. You cook, or even there's a change in temperature in your house. Okay, for the most common example is when you cook, there are some steam that usually escape from your from your food. But so those steams normally they usually pass through the window and other vents here, other openings outside. But when you now have a space whereby there's no ventilation, the window is always closed, or maybe the window is even too small, and when you are cooking, the steam cannot escape. It will not escape. It will find a way to settle on your wall. So when it settles, it will soak the wall, and then you can see that mold, most especially all this black thing, which is mold, will show on your wall. That is condensation damp. Or in some cases, in severe cases, you see that the paint is also peeling. That's condensation damp. Now, another type of dampness is penetrating damp. Penetrating damp usually occur when you have water seeping from a side of the wall to another side of the wall. What do I mean? For example, your neighbor upstairs, at the top, maybe your neighbor upstairs, their bathroom on the floor, they have tiles that is having water issue. Water leaks inside the tiles, and then it gets to your own place. So that is penetrating damp. Or even outside your house, when you go out, you see that there's a crack, a big crack on the external part of your house. So when rain falls, it will enter that crack, and then it will come inside your own place, and it will show that line on the wall, and then paint will start peeling. That is penetrating damp. So the most common type of dampness in Nigeria for most people is, there are two types. There are two, which is rising damp, which is very very common. In fact, it is 70% of the cases, while the other 20% is penetrating damp. That is, people have leakage at the top. Penetrating damp, let's say 30% as well, because it's very high nowadays. You see people having mold, black thing on their ceiling. So that is penetrating damp. So the other one is the least one is condensation damp, though we've treated condensation damp for one clients before. So but the most common cases that we have, because at this point we've treated more than 1,000 cases like for dampness. So like the most common cases that we normally see is dampness from the foundation, that is rising damp, and this is usually caused by people not using DPC while they are doing foundation, or trying to cut corners while they are doing their foundation, or not doing the right type of foundation, or not using the right type of material. So thank you to Luis Fernande on Facebook. Thank you to everybody. Yes, and when you have this type of dampness, whether it is rising damp, penetrating damp, or condensation damp, yes, there are solutions to everything, but in most cases, it usually costs a lot of money. Now, if it is rising damp, this is how you treat it. So the first thing you do for rising damp is to stop the water from up. Oops, sorry, I need to do something. These are lights, don't come out. Sorry. So if it is rising dam, the first thing you need to do is to block the water from rising to your wall. That is, we say water is on the floor, and then you are put on the soil, and then you are putting your block in it. So you can put the block, like you are putting the block on the soil. So you need something to serve as a barrier between your soil and your block. So that way, that is what we call a DPC nylon. It's usually like this. It's usually the size of a block, and it's a nylon. It's usually in roll. I think we have a sample, but there are a lot of things on it. So that is a DPC nylon. So you use the DPC. So if you've already built your house and they did not use it, what you need to do is to cut. If you can get an experienced engineer, let them cut the foundation for you. Batch by batch. They will not cut everything at the same time so that the house will not come down. They will cut it batch by batch, and then they will now put the DPC, seal that place, then go to another place, cut it again, put the DPC, seal it. So that's what they do. So after that, the wall is already wet in most cases for existing buildings. So you need to remove the plaster. Why are you removing the plaster? The reason you are removing the plaster is that the plaster is already wet. So anything you put on it will also be wet easily. So, but once you remove the plaster, you put a waterproof material like Costa 2K and Crystal Coat. You put them on it. You put them on the wall, that is on the empty block now. After putting them on the empty block, you now replaster the place and then do squidding again. So that's how to solve rising damp. So now for penetrating damp, in most cases, penetrating damp, you need to stop the cause. For all this type of dampness, you need to stop the cause first, which is why you need to know the type of dampness before you say you want to treat it. So for penetrating damp, whether, let's say, the water is coming from your neighbor's place, maybe the tile grout, that is the tile, the space between their own tiles is not well sealed, so they need to seal the place. Or maybe the drainage in their toilet or bathroom is having a leakage. Maybe there's a hole around the drainage, so you need to block the hole. Once you do that, or maybe a pipe is leaking, you block the pipe. Once you fix those things, you can now come to your own place down and then put a top mold defense. Use a top mold defense, because why, in most cases when you have water like that, the mold is already growing. So once you need to spray it with something to kill the mold. So after killing the mold, then you can get a primer. You get a primer like this one. So once you get a primer, you put it on it. Why are you using a primer? The reason you are using a primer is, most times when you have penetrating damp, it comes with discoloration. You see a lot of discoloration on your ceiling, so, or on your wall. So you see a lot of discoloration, like all this black stuff or all this brown stuff on your ceiling in most cases, or even paint spilling on your ceiling. So once you see that, you need a primer to cover up the stain so that the stain will not come out again. So after blocking the stain, you now use a paint to repaint the surface, so that way you won't have that issue again. That is how to solve penetrating damp completely. I've explained the one for rising damp completely. Now, if it's condensation damp, what you need to know, I told you guys that what usually cause condensation dampness is because there's little ventilation. So what you need to do naturally is to increase the ventilation. Maybe if you have enough windows already, always be opening the windows, which is very key. So but if you don't have enough window, try to, maybe you get there's something they call, is it heat extractor, there's like something to remove condensation. You can get dehumidifier as well. You can also increase the number of windows as well. So you can also is this steam extractor? There's something that in the kitchen, when you are cooking, when steam is coming, it will be extracting the steam. Then in some cases, it's not even in your kitchen, it's in your bathroom when you take hot shower. So you can also put something like that there. So, but the easiest way is just to increase the size of your windows and make sure you are opening the windows constantly. Which is why in most cases for the condensation damp, people usually notice that they are experiencing it, but their neighbor is not experiencing it. Why? Because it's an habitual thing. It's not like the way you are living, the type of standard you are living in your place is different from the type of standard your neighbor is living. Like the behavioral traits, the way you live is different. That's why you are having it, they are not having it. That is, maybe you usually close your window, they usually open their window. So that's why for condensation damp, it's not usually, it doesn't really show for all the flats. Let's say you have 4 flats at the downstairs, you notice that it's only maybe 1 or 2 that's having it. Why the other 2 flats they don't have it? Uh that's condensation damp for you. It's also true for penetrating damp that So it's also true for penetrating damp that most people, when people experience penetrating damp, it's usually localized to them. But for rising damp, it's usually the whole compound that will be having the issue. But penetrating damp and condensation damp is only selected people that will be having the problem because it's usually localized. So those are the complete. So for condensation, okay, I've explained the treatment for all of them. So those are the treatments for all this type of dampness. So thank you to Otu Francis for watching on Facebook. Thank you to everybody who is watching on YouTube. Thank you to everybody who is watching on TikTok. Thank you to guys, let's tap on the screen. Let's get more people to like this live. So if you want any of our products, you can make order. You can send us a DM 090435758896. 090435758896. Thank you to 9 people watching on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I will leave the number to chat on YouTube 090435758896. 43 WhatsApp. That's WhatsApp only. So if you call, it's my staff that will pick it. If you chat on WhatsApp, I'm the one that will respond to you, which is why WhatsApp is usually slow, but I respond um I respond critically. WhatsApp only. So why the reason I try to do is something we can still WhatsApp is something we can still outsource to other staff members to take care of. But I'm trying to make sure that whatever recommendation we give to you is it's 100% because it takes technical skills to really diagnose all these things. Because if you say something is penetrating damp and it's rising damp and you go and use different type of treatment, you won't get a good result. So which is why we are very, very careful when it comes to responding to comments, when it comes to responding to chats, which is why some people will be like, you're always slow to respond. Yes, sorry about that, but there are some things we need to. Okay, somebody says I need this mode defense. Okay, mode defense is 40,000 naira. If you need it, you can send us a DM. 40,000. Let me send account number. Then order. So. So if you need the more defense, you can make payments to the 090435758896. That's OPay. You can make payments. It's just 40,000. This is more defense. It comes with a free kit. So it's more defense. So make payments to that number. OPay to bring Ram Topaz Ventures. Then you can send your receipts to that particular WhatsApp number as well. So and then you send the address where you need the product to be delivered. So we deliver within 24 hours for most places. So if it is in Lagos, it's even faster. So Benin City. So if you have any question, leave it in the chat. Let's answer some questions. Content. Let's answer some questions people have been leaving. Um, let's answer some questions people have been leaving in the chat. So can you, if you want to do tyroline, if you have dampness on your wall, don't do tyroline on the wall. Tyroline is not a damp proof material. So what you need, this is what you need to do instead. The first thing you need to do is to damp proof that particular surface. You waterproof the surface by applying chemicals like Costa 2K and Crystal Coat on the wall. That is, let's say you, for example, the wall is already peeling and everything. You need to remove the plaster on that wall first. After you remove the plaster, you see the block, get Crystal Coat and Costa 2K or any other waterproof material, apply it on the wall first, and then you plaster the surface. After you plaster the surface, you can now do your tyroline. You can now do the tyroline on the wall and let it dry. So that way you are free, and you are good to go, and you know that water will not disturb that particular wall again. So after applying tyroline, one other thing you should also do is to apply a primer, especially alkali resistant primer, or use a silicone based primer, and then you paint on it. So that way you won't have that particular issue of water coming to your wall again. So don't do tyroline on it expecting that only tyroline alone will stop the dampness. No, it will not stop the dampness. Okay, thank you to Mendoza, Civil. Thank you very much, Morgan Douglas Henry. Thank you very much for watching on Facebook. Thank you to everybody who is joining on TikTok. Um, yes, painters. I believe painters can charge more. So somebody says, talk about the way painters charge for their jobs. Do you think it contributes to why painting is underrated? Is one of the underrated jobs currently. You see, painting is a profession, and most people don't know. You know, the fact that you can just go somewhere and learn painting, or you can just do. You can just, most people don't even learn painting nowadays. They just watch video online and then they start painting. There are a lot to painting than that. So even though you can start from that place, but I will recommend that you also get more skills. And you know, because most people just watch video, they just paint, and then they be like, okay, this is beautiful. Why? Because the wall is showing white, the wall is showing gray already, the wall is showing blue, and you know, color is beautiful on its own. And then they be like, okay, I know about painting, which is why some of them charge like little amount compared to what they are supposed to be charging. You see, and this is not a call for painters to start charging customers high. What I'm trying to say is that you should charge what the job is worth, what is meant to do the job. For example, you can say what we've been seeing nowadays is that some painters, don't let me say painters, some painters will try to undercharge just to compete. Like they'll be like, oh, if I overcharge, the customer will not want to pay. No, they'll be like, okay, instead of them adding some things that will help the wall. For example, they will add sandpaper, they will add primer, they will add undercoat in some cases. They will even add damp treatment material for the customers where they see damp. Some of them will be like, oh, if we tell the customer, they will not take it. You see, as a painter, you are a professional. You should always tell the customer what is best for them. And some painters will come to me and be like, oh, the customers will not want to pay. And then that is why, and then they give that as an excuse for trying to cut corners with the customer. For me, because I also take painting projects as well, I don't see that as an excuse. I see that um as just trying to find way to cut corners, honestly. Because if you stand your ground and say, okay, this is what I want, like this is the work I will give you to get this job done perfectly, trust me, most customer will see through that, and then they will be like, oh, you are the one who want to give the work. You, even you take a look at it, is it every work that you cut corners and you lie to the customer that they later end up giving you? No. Why? Because most of those customers are also brilliant. They are intelligent enough to say that, this guy that has been saying no, no, no to this thing, I told him, will he use primer? He said no. I told him, will he need sandpaper? He said no. They know that you are desperate to get the job, which is why most of them will not give you the job. But if you stand your ground and be like, oh, this is what you need sandpaper, you need primer, you need this, and then when they say, okay, why do we need this, you are able to say, okay, this is why. Come and see, look at the wall. If we paint it without this, this is what is going to happen. And this thing is not magic. If they paint it without doing that, they give it to another person without doing that, and then they see that it happens, trust me, they will call you. They'll be like, this is what Tope was telling us, so that we did not do. That we did not do, and now we are seeing the results. So that way they even trust you more and start recommending you. So and what usually causes this for most painter is that they don't have enough work that's coming into their pipeline. Why? Because maybe in a month they only have 3 people contact them for work in a month, and that's why they'll be like, oh, these 3 people, I must know, I must get them by all means. No, you see, one thing I usually tell people, whether painter or anybody, is you must put your work out there. You must put your work on social media. Thank God for social media. If this were to be 1980s now, we might be like, oh, we have excuse. We don't have money to run newspaper ad. We don't have money to run ad on TV. We don't have money to run ad on radio. But nowadays, thank God, with a phone and camera, you can come online and showcase your work. Let me check TikTok, because they normally bring all these things after 1 hour. So thank God for social media now. With your phone and small data, you can come online, you can show your work. The little 1 bedroom that somebody say you should paint, you show the way you bought the paints, you show the way you unbox the paints, you show the way you are painting the place, you show that, okay, this is why we are using this paint instead of that one. I usually tell people, come to my page, come and copy what I'm doing. Like, it's not like me too. I see some things online that I go and copy. So some people will contact me and be like, oh, Mr. Tope, we see this on your page, can we use it? I'll be like, go and use it. I'm not afraid of people saying, copying me for anything. Copy me today, me too. I'm the one you are copying me. I'm thinking of another thing already. Like what I posted today, I've already gone past that one. I'm looking for something else to improve myself. So not that, oh, will he say I'm copying him? No. Try to find all these things that I'm doing, that you see on my page, that's making people to patronize Tope Alao today, to buy his product, to make them give him contracts. Copy it, do it in your own business as well. You get? So once you do all those things, naturally customers will come to your DM. They'll start saying, oh, we want to work with you, we like what you do. It's natural. You just have to be patient. Why? Because all these things, they don't take a day. I usually tell people that I've been posting on social media for 10 years before everything is now trying to set in place now. 10 years, most people cannot take it. But nowadays the internet is going crazy, that even within 6 months, if you post consistently for, let's say, 2 to 3 times daily, you will be getting customers left, right, center. 6 months to a year, you'll be getting results. The problem with most people is that they are not patient enough to stay true. They are not patient enough to see it through. So, and all these things, whether you want to build a house, you want to buy a car, the effort you put in now. And for social media, for you to get more clients, for you to stop putting all your expenses on one project, for you to start getting more than 3 customers in a month, you need to put in the work. And if you look at it, you are already doing the work already. You are already working already. Sometimes when you are feeling down, when you are feeling like, okay, I don't want to do this work, just know that you are already doing the work already. Whether you like it or not, human being, we are meant to work. So you only need to do a little bit extra to put you in that spot whereby you don't need to start begging people to give you work, that people will start coming to you, beg you to give you work without you even soliciting for it. Most of my videos, you won't see me say, I sell paint, I do this, except if I'm on live like this, I'll tell you the price and everything. But for most of my video is about me orientating people, me telling people what they need to do. And in the background, people are messaging me, can you do this for us? Can you do this? That is the way things work. That is the way things work. So if you're a painter, you need to upgrade your skills. You need to post your work online. You need to showcase your work so that people know that this is what you do. You need to stop cutting corners. You need to tell customers what they really want so that at the end of the day they give you the work and then they know that you are going to do it properly. And that way you will not suffer for work again. So if you're a painter, you don't want to start suffering for work. These are the things you need to do. So sorry, that was a long rant. Sorry. So we sell certain paints for 72,000 naira, 72,000 naira. So for the big buckets, 72,000 naira. So this is satin paint. It comes in different color: white, brown, black. Uh, uh, any color you need, satin paint. This is our color chart. We even have a bigger color chart. So satin paint, any color you need, white, brown, any color you need, it comes in different color. It's 72,000 naira, 72,000 naira. If you need if you need it, so you can send us a DM, 72,000 naira for satin. It comes in any color, so any color you need, and it's very very good for interior painting. Babatunde Ariwayo, hello, thank you to you. Hello to you too, Baba. Today, I really appreciate you for joining. Okay, location is Port Harcourt. So if you want to place your order, I think somebody is placing order to Port Harcourt. Let me check. Okay, I think I've answered this question. Let me just post this. Okay. Paints with Sobes. So Paints with Tobe says there's something I want to learn how to hunt for job and not just online. I'm not the best person to teach you that because me, I don't like one-on-one hunting. Trust me, you get more from online. You get more customers, more qualified customers online than you hunting for job. Now, for example, let me give you two cases. There are two people. Okay, you have two options. One is you chase people up and down, and then they did not give you attention. They tell you to come back tomorrow. You start booking different appointments with them. You never see them, and then when you finally see them, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not giving you this job." Or on the other hand, you have the option of creating content, showing people what you do, and then people start coming to your DM and then saying they want to get you to do their job for them. Yes, some of them will buy, some of them will patronize you, while others will not patronize you. Which of these two cases do you want? Is it the one you are chasing and chasing, and you are never sure they will buy, or the one that people are coming to your DM, endless people are coming to your DM, and then most of them are buying in most cases? So for me, I prefer the one that people are coming to my DM, which is why chasing job versus going online to get clients, to post your work and to orient people is the best. Like going online to get customers, like posting your work the way I do, like orienting people, telling people the truth about things is the best way to get customers compared to you going to sites. Yes, there's room for people going to site, but me, I prefer this one because it's the easier route, even though it takes a lot of energy than you going there, but it's the easier route for me to get our clients. So, but I don't know for other people. So, though in a normal world, we are supposed to be doing the two, but my brother, I don't like stress of going to sites. Even that one will cost you money. You go to sites, even the psychological stress that comes with people rejecting you, compared to people just coming to your DM and then you are the one that will even determine whether you work with them or not. Is a two separate world. It's very the margin is very wide. Like the difference is wide. So me, I prefer this one. Oh. So thank you to everybody who is joining. Thank you to Latansa. Thank you to Alice Aminu. Thank you to Salami. Thank you to thank you to everybody who is watching on YouTube. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. YouTube guys always one of the best. Yeah. You also pains with Tobias. That's it. That's it. So when most people talk about hunting for a job, I'll be like, beg, carry your gun and your cutlass, go and be hunting. Me, I day here. I day here, they orient people. So because stress no good for your life now. So let's move on to the next one. So, is it advisable to rent a shop upstairs? The answer is no. Now, I posted a video the other time, and the video went viral. Me saying, "Oh, do not rent a shop upstairs." And the reason I gave that particular instance is that most shops that are upstairs are, in most cases, let me say 70% of the time, they don't usually make sales. Like their sales is low compared to shops downstairs. But I will have said 90% of the time. But recently I saw a friend of mine that got a store upstairs. But because of the type of business he was doing, he was selling or is selling wholesale material, which means people, but like, he does not need people on the streets to come and buy from him. What he needs is people, retailers, people that are already selling, to know his place. All he has to do is just go out to those retailers, tell them his location, and then they come and buy in bulk. So that way, if you are in that kind of business, maybe in some cases even tailoring, so there are some businesses like that you don't really need the average man on the streets to come to you to buy. So that way you can just put your store upstairs. But even with that, you still need certain level of discoverability. It's not every retail store that you'll be able to go to. So it's better for you to just say, okay, let me just get a store where I can be more discoverable, which is downstairs compared to upstairs. Yes, even though we might argue that, okay, now there's online that you can market. Even with that, when people are looking for your store, like ease of access is very, very important. For example, if they say, okay, the store is opposite so bank, it's easier. Anybody that gets there will just, the first thing they will do is to look downstairs. Nobody will start looking upstairs for your store first. They will first look downstairs, and then they will be able, if you are downstairs, they will discover you very fast, and it makes it much more easier for your customers. And there are some customers that cannot climb upstairs. You need to take that into consideration. As funny as this might sound, there are some of our customers that will come here. Our store is not even upstairs. We have downstairs where we attend to customers. There are some customers that will be like, oh, I can't climb. Some people they are in their old age, and they are good customers. And you can't, because of, okay, your store is upstairs, and you don't want to even attend to that. Even to the extent that some customers will not even want to come down from their vehicle. They will not want to come down from their car. They want you to come and attend to them in their car. All these things are things that the current age has allowed us to do. So, and you having your store upstairs might not be encouraging for certain kind of customers. So, and you want everybody to buy from you. Thank you very much for sharing the live. Thank you, Paco. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Yes, we have a branch in Lagos. That's a Putu bus stop opposite Petroles filling station. That's a Putu bus stop. Anywhere you are, a Putu bus stop. Okay, paints with two best. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much. You've been engaging on this live. Good day, sir. Good day to you, Sako boy. Sako boy ite. Please, is it necessary to screed POP ceiling before painting it? Yes. So should you screed your POP ceiling before you paint it? The answer is yes and no. For most POP nowadays, they are already smooth, so you don't really need screening in most cases. Well, the only time you might want to screed, which is not too advisable itself, is that when you see that the POP is not that smooth. But most POP are even smooth and straight nowadays. So like this particular one now, the POP we have here is smooth and straight already. So you don't really need screeding. Like, it's already smooth, it's already straight. Most people just think that, oh, you should screed everywhere. No, don't screed everywhere. screening is only meant to make your wall look smooth and look like it's just baked, like something that's smooth and perfect. And once you have a perfect wall, you don't need to screen it, because while screening it, you might even disfigure the wall. So whether it's your wall or your pop, once it is smooth, just leave it alone, leave it ẹ fi lọ́rùn sílẹ̀, leave it, it's beautiful that way, and then you can paint on it directly. So you can use a primer to improve the beauty, of course. Ish, live offended. That way, these people don't come again. Sorry about that, guys. I did not know that TikTok has already signed us off. I did not know. I think I did not know that TikTok has signed us off. So thank you to everyone. Okay. Somebody is messaging me. Sorry to everybody that was here before. TikTok just signed us off. I think once you spend about 1 hour or so on the live and you did not do anything, they will log you off. Please, where is your office located? Our office is at Eputu bus stop. Oops. Okay. After where I am. So after where I just Aja, after Aja here, how many meter can it cover? So if you want to buy Kosatuke and Crystal coats, they can cover 10 square meter. For most people, they will tend to ask me that, oh, one of the most common questions we get nowadays is how many square meter can Kosatuke and Crystal coats cover? Each of them can cover 10 square meter. And most cases, we advise you to use the two together. For example, if you have a room, for one room, if your dampness is up to the window level, that is window level down, all around your room, you need one Costa 2K, one Crystal coat. That is the coverage. That is 10 square meter for most cases. Yes, you might have little bit left, but on average, you need one Costa 2K, one Crystal coat for a room, as long as the dampness is up to the window level. In some cases, it might be a little bit over the window level. What I mean by window level is the lower part of the window. So you use one Kosatuke, one Crystal coat, or if you are somebody that's technical enough, you can do the total measurement of the square meter. That the number of square meter, that is, let's say the total square meter is 100. One Kosatuke can cover 10 square meter. One Crystal coat can cover 10 square meter. And since you are using the two together, that means you need one Kosatuke, one Crystal coat for every 10 square meter. So for 100 square meter, that means you need 10 Kosatuke and you need 10 Crystal coat. So that is how to know how many you use for all these waterproof materials you want to use. Um, you're welcome. You're welcome. Saka Boy said, thank you very much for joining back. Thank you very much for joining back, guys. Let's double tap on the screen. Let's share this live. Let's get more people to join the live. Well done, Vasha Alat. Mr. Tsevi Tokwe Sulaiman, I really appreciate you for joining. I really appreciate you for always engaging on our video, for always leaving comments, for always sharing our video and liking the video. I really appreciate you. Carlo07, thank you very much for joining on TikTok. What area can you cover? So you can cover 10 square meter, 10 SQM. So anywhere you see SQM, it means square meter. So you can cover 10 square meter. So if you are the one that's leaving voice notes on WhatsApp, I'll be there to respond. Just one floor above is 2 rooms and toilet. How much are they? Okay. So thank you very much for watching again. Let's check YouTube for before we now start answering some questions that people are asking. So thank you to everybody who is watching on YouTube. I think there's a place we check There's a place I check. There's a place I check people watching on YouTube that day. You see, I think there's okay top fan. I think is the other top fan. Improve with Ahmed. Is it improve with okay Ahmed? But Batunde, thank you very much. Faith Dixon, thank you very much for watching on YouTube. Guys, let's up tap on the screen. Let's up tap on the screen. Oye Lomo, thank you very much. Sika Futuro, thank you very much for watching on Facebook. All right, let's answer some questions. Let's answer some questions that people have been asking. It's time to answer questions. So I think we've been answering some questions right here. Let's continue. I think okay. I think we've answered this one. So if you have any question, you can leave it in the chat or you can leave it on any of our videos. What we normally do is every week, most of the questions that we get online, we post it on our WhatsApp group, and every week or once or twice or 3 times a week, as much as possible, we try to answer those questions on a live and then we post them as a video. So your question is most likely definitely going to get an answer, whether with a video like this one or in the comment section or even with a text reply. So we always attend to every comment. So if you have dampness, why are we not having enough? Okay, Stella from Kenya, I have found your information educative. Big up. Thank you very much to Stella from Kenya. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you for joining for that wonderful comments. Thank you very much. It's because the reason we have a lot of informative videos is because we have curious audience. Why? Because if you have content or you are talking about something that people are not interested in, it's zero. But because we have people that ask curious questions and we get to provide answers to them, that's why our videos look as if they are interesting. Why? Because we are answering the question that's in people's mind. So thank you very much, Stella, for that. Guys, let's up tap on the screen. Let's like this live, share this live with people that will benefit from this particular live. So we are going to be talking about mold. We've been talking about mold, dampness, and how to treat it properly. So I need to waterproof an outdoor slab. So if you are somebody that has you have a hidden roof, that is, there are different type of hidden roofs. There are some that are you have hidden roof but you have aluminum sheets, and then some part of it is concrete. So what you need to do in that case is to get polyurethane. Polyurethane is they normally call it PU. It's just like all this black stuff that they normally use. So they use it on the places that have block. So and then on the joints they use geotextile fiber on those joints, and then you won't have water issue again. But if you have a place that people usually step on, there are some hidden roof that people usually put, and then oh, give me a few seconds. Okay. So there are some hidden roof that people usually put, and then they go and do faji. Like they still go there to like how will I put it? They still go there to sit as a sit house, like they put the hidden roof, and then they still people still walk on those places. I don't know what they call those kind of things. So if you have those kind of places, you don't use PU there, because if you use PU, any small scratch like this will tear that place. So what you need to do is to use Costa 2K and Crystal Coat. So you use, or any other waterproof material. So on the floor you put Crystal Coat first. Once it's dry, then you now put Costa 2K. But the problem with these particular chemicals is that they do not like sunlight, that is UV. They are not UV resistant in nature. So you need something to cover them, to protect them from sun, from direct sun, which is where you now use all this green grass, all this artificial grass, you put it on them, or you use towels, you towel it, and then you won't have any water issue again. So when rain falls and or anything, the water will not come from up to come and disturb you in your place again. So those are two different ways to treat hidden roof leakage in your place. Thank you to everybody who is watching on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Um, it's been a while we went live on Instagram. It's been a while, but one of these days we are going to do that. I've missed my Instagram family. Instagram people always ready to buy. This is what your wall will look like if you don't use a primer. Okay, I think we've done that. Should you do squidding on normal ceiling for it to do look like to look like POP? The answer is no. You see, most of this normal ceiling, the number one thing is the earth issue. Like asbestos ceiling, the normal asbestos ceiling, if you go to US now, UK, they don't allow people to use asbestos ceiling again. Why? Because they say it's cancerous, it causes cancer. That's one thing aside. The other thing is that, all these things, if you put this ceiling, if you put it inside water, you see that it will also it will also it will also crumble. So you now doing screening, which has certain level of water on it, it means you are trying to reduce the strength of that particular ceiling. And in most cases, people tend to remove most of the videos I've watched of people doing screening on their ceiling is they remove all the joints, all the little planks that they put to support the ceiling. They remove it and then they say they are doing screening. Those planks are meant to serve as support for your ceiling, and then you are removing them and then you are putting more weight. Hey, so it's very dangerous. It's not what it's for beauty. If you want something that looks beautiful, tell them to remove the ceiling for you, and then you do normal POP. I don't think POP is expensive, so just do normal POP instead of you trying to cut corners. Cutting corners has a lot of bad advantage for you. The only advantage you might have is the beauty, which might end up harming you or harming the people that stay in that particular apartment. Wow, time has gone already. I never knew. Here are some reasons why your paint is not sticking to the wall properly. The number one reason is dirty or contaminated surfaces. You see, if you have a wall that you have grease, oil on the wall, and then you did not remove the oil and then you go and paint on it, you will notice that for a very short time the paint will start peeling, or the paint will not, even while you are painting, the paint will not stick to the wall properly. So what you need to do first is remove the dirt on the wall and before you paint. The number two reason is dampness or moisture. So you see, when your wall is wet, nothing will stick to the wall properly. Even though it stick temporarily, it will still remove, which is why you see that when they paint a wall, over a short period of time the paint will start peeling, because paint does not like water. So once water gets in touch with paint, it will start removing it small, little by little. That's why you see paint peeling. So another reason why you can see why your paint is not sticking to the wall properly is you did not use a primer. You see, the primer has a lot of benefits. Even though it's going to cost you extra money to buy a primer, it has a lot of extra benefits. One of it is that it will allow your paint to stick properly to the wall. Just see primer as a glue that help you glue your paint, which is like paper, to the wall. So primer is that glue between the two that will glue it properly to the wall. So another reason your paint is not sticking properly to the wall is chalky old paint. That is, the paint on the wall before is chalky. That is dusty already, and you did not do anything to it. You just go ahead and paint it. So what you need to do instead is to get a wall stabilizer for that wall, put it on the wall first, or even remove the paint completely. Once you remove the paint completely, if it is not strong enough, before you now paint another paint. So these are some of the reasons why your paint is not sticking properly to the wall. Should you do priming before screening, or should you do screening before priming? The answer is you prime, you skim before priming, you screen before priming. You do your screening before you do priming. Why? Because you need to make screening is meant to make your wall look smooth, while priming is meant to make your wall look beautiful. So you need to smoothen the wall before you make it look beautiful. So skim first or screen first before you now use primer on the wall. So that is the proper way to do it. So after you do your primer, that's when you now paint, because priming is just like paint. It's something that comes before painting. So you skim because the wall is looking rough already. You need something to make it look smooth before you now put your paint. Like you put your primer before you now put your paint. So that is what you need to do. Okay, interior walls. Would you advise one to use between oil or silk paints? So if you want to paint between oil paint or silk paint, which one is good for interior walls? Especially in Africa here, go for silk paint. Why? Because silk paints do not look shouty. Yes, they look smooth, and they also shine, and they are cleanable like oil paint, which we call gloss paint. So but silk looks more mature. It doesn't look too shining like oil paint does. So another thing is that if in most cases oil paints are usually more expensive than silk paints. Yes, they are usually more expensive, and they shine more than silk paints. So the other one is yes, both of them can peel on the wall when you have dampness on the wall, but definitely generally getting silk paints is more affordable compared to getting oil paints, which we call gloss paints. Yes, silk is better, and it comes in it comes in different color. You have variety when you are going with silk compared to oil paints. Most manufacturers, especially in Nigeria and Africa generally, they don't produce oil paints, gloss paints in different colors. They produce it in limited colors, but for silk paint they produce it in multiple colors, and you can get as much quantity as possible, and it's easily available compared to oil paints. So go with silk instead of oil paints. But if you are painting iron surfaces, go with oil paints. Thank you for from Kenya. I really appreciate you. So if you have dampness on your wall and then you did not have access to the other side of the wall, should you treat your own side and leave the other side? The answer is yes. You can treat the side that, like let's say in your room now, you have dampness, you have paint peeling on your wall, but the other side of the place you don't have access to the place. Whether probably you are not the owner, or maybe the place is sealed off, so you can just scrape off your own wall and apply the damp chemical like Kosatuki and Crystal Coat or other waterproof chemicals. You apply them on the wall, and then on your own side you won't have water issue again. But it's if you have, let's say it's a cold room that's on the other side of the wall, a cold room or a water tank that's on the other side of the wall, it's very important if you can to waterproof that side as well. Why? It will increase the longevity of your own side. But if you do not have the access to that side, just do your own part. It will still serve you, but it will not last as long as you doing the other side as well. So can Costa 2K be used for POP damp? If you have dampness on your POP, don't use Costa 2K or Crystal Coat or any other waterproof material, because why? Those places are not meant to. Those places do not require damp proof material. What you need is to stop the leakage. In most cases, when you see when you see dampness, whether it's paint peeling or all those black stuff on your ceiling, what usually cause them is water leaking from your neighbor's place or from your roof. So what you need to do is to block that leakage first before you apply any damp proof material, before you apply any chemical not damp proof material. So what you need is a top mold defense. After you have stopped the leakage, you apply a top mold defense to kill all the mold that have grown, and then you apply a primer. You can use this particular undercoat primer or any other primer that will block the stain, and then you paint before you now paint your wall. No, don't use Kosa 2K or any other waterproof material. What you need is block the leakage, kill the germs, the mold on the wall, then block the stain, and then repaint your place. So those are the things you need. You don't need to waterproof anything. Thank you very much to everybody who is watching. Stella, Waiter, thank you very much for sticking around. Guys, if you're here to follow, make sure you follow us. Okay, somebody is asking how many liters. If you have mold on your wall, what is mold? If you have all this black stain on your wall, or all this brown stain on your wall, or on your ceiling, or on your wall anywhere, maybe close to your window or close to on your bathroom wall, this is the chemical to use. It's called a top mold defense. What you need to do is to apply it on those surfaces. It will kill all the germs, because those black stuff you are seeing on your wall have health issues, because they have health issues. They cause you health problems if you did not treat them properly. So you need to treat them. If you need to kill all those things, there are organisms that are growing on your wall that can cause respiratory issue for you. They can cause you a lot of health problems. So what you need to do is apply a top mode defense on those surfaces, wait for 30 minutes, and then you can put a primer on the wall and repaint that particular surface. So but one other thing you need to do is to stop the place the water is coming from, because what is causing that particular black stuff is water coming to your wall. So you need to stop the water, whether it's from leakage from your neighbor's place above you, or leakage from your roof, or leakage or water from your foundation. You need to stop that first before you can use a top mode defense. So but if you don't have the money to fix those things, yes you can still use a top mode defense. It will kill all the mold on your wall, but though that might last for a short while before you might have to apply a top mode defense on the wall again. So that is a top mode defense for you, for those of you that have all this black stuff on your ceiling, on your wall, or all this brown stuff on your ceiling, on your wall. This is the right chemical to use. Thank you to everybody who is joining on TikTok. Thank you to everybody who is joining on Facebook. How many liters, and does it come with hand towels and other kits? Yes, 4 liters. 4 liters. Yes, a top mode defense is in 4 liters. Yes, it does come with a kit. For everybody who is messaging me on WhatsApp, so I'll respond to you. So if you want to book any of our products, 09043575896. Abdul Jalil Abdul Mujamil, thank you very much for saying hi on Facebook. 09043575896. That's the number to reach out to on WhatsApp. I'll be there to respond to you. So 09043575896. Thank you to everybody who is watching on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. So if you want to place your order, you need the top mode defense. The top mode defense is just 40,000 naira, and it comes with a kit. a kit. It comes with a kit that you can get with it. It's just 40,000 naira plus the kit. Just send us a DM 090435758966. It's time to go and pray. Thank you very much to everybody who has been engaging on this live. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys later, guys. We have more inside. We have more inside. Okay. Time to go offline, guys. Thank you to everybody.